Hey, how's it going, guys? 3% Ninja here. Welcome to a new game on my channel. We're gonna be playing Ace Attorney Investigations. And we got Investigations 2, which we'll be playing next, but I haven't played this one yet, so I figure you should probably play the first one before you play the second one. We're just gonna go ahead and new game this. We will be reading a lot. I know a lot of people is not going to be into this because there's not that much action, if any at all, to be honest. This is going to be a courtroom-based investigation walk simulator type of game. So basically, we are a prosecutor. We'll be playing with Miles Edgeworth, and he's like one of the ace prosecutors, or one of the best prosecutors in the land or the town or whatever. Everybody knows him. I'm pretty famous. We're gonna start a new game. We have the pixel art, we have the HD version. Of course, we're going to be going with the HD version because it just looks better. Who wants to play with this? Why would you? Unless you want to go back to like the old school era in which you'd be playing this on like a Game Boy or something like that. Still, that of course we'll be playing with the HD version. Okay, start from this episode. Yes, episode 1, Turnabout Visitor. So I'm not a very smart man. So it's a good thing that I'm actually just doing recordings of this and not actually live streaming this, because then I can just edit out all my failures, but you wouldn't know that because you wouldn't see it. All right, let's go ahead and start a new game. Hey, I got a trophy for playing the game with HD. What? So if I go back and I pick the pixel, I wonder if I get another trophy. March 14, 1:16 a.m. To make sure the defendant is found guilty, what other choice do I have? That's the job of a prosecutor, after all. That may be true, but why? Why go this far? Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough, but a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter what the cost. Holy! Okay. So we already know who the killer is, huh? So he, like, they don't care. I'm a prodigy among prosecutors. Always have been, always will be. March 14, 2:05 a.m. Prosecutors building, 12th floor hallway. Okay, wow. So he doesn't care if they're innocent or guilty, really. Well, he cares if they're guilty. He doesn't care if they're innocent. Interesting. Just a bad man. It's hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. I hope Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office and keeping it clean. The door is unlocked. Detective Gumshoe? What's this smell? Is very familiar. Blood? Somebody's dead. Just like laying there. What the? What's the meaning of this? Oh, you guys probably noticed my cam is off as well. I'm gonna be doing a lot of voice acting. So I just don't want to be like seen doing it. Oh man. I'm gonna try to do voice acting at least. I feel like I will be blocking a lot of the screen as well. Freeze! Is that the guy? The prosecutor? Identify yourself. Shut up. Jesus. You got some nerve committing murder in the prosecutor's office. I think I'm saying it wrong as well, so I think it's prosecutor. Is that a threat? Yo, he's not phased at all. Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. Okay, Batman. You scared him. I'm surprised he didn't just kill me. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. You see how I changed it? A prosecutor? Whatever. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I would be thrusted into a multitude of cases and some very frantic and busy days. All right, so there is going to be some big words, some big brain words I'm not going to be able to pronounce, but I'm going to try my best. Feel free to make fun of me in the comments. March 14, 2:56 a.m., High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. I'm going to be going back and forth with that, as you can see. I've finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir. Oh, that's the Iron Samurai. Why does he have the Iron Samurai in his office? I didn't know he was a fan. Ah! Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Are you okay, sir? Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. When I heard that a murder had taken place in your office, I ran up here straight away. This is Dick Gumshoe. He's a detective with the local precinct, and the one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being. You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine. However, look what they did to your office. It's totally trashed. I'll say the culprits sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud in my office. Whoa! Sounds like you're getting really burned up over this whole thing. This crime was committed in my office, so it's my responsibility to solve it. Oh, that's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So I'll keep my leads or information we find etched in my forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? Crime scene, my office? It is really a coincidence that the murder took place in my office. I get this nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind. Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you? No, not really. Especially because of this. The key to your office? For security reasons, this office door has been locked. Has a lock built in. Huh. What do you mean, sir? If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you. Logic? By finding the connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic. So how do you use it? First, I recall the information we've gathered with Q, and then I connect them together with T. Now, to use Q and recall the facts. Okay, so Q. Hold it! Is it really a coincidence that the murder took place in my office? The crime scene, my crime scene, and the office key. All right, you just put these two together then? So confirm? And confirm? And then T to connect. I got a trophy, doing things my way. For security reasons, all persecutors' doors are outfitted with locks, which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, is it possible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence? Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir. There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? Why did this happen in my office? What was the killing after? Okay, you're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir. Yes, well, when you follow leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we? Yes, sir. Begin the investigation. The basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that. And when I want to examine something, I simply use space when I'm next to it. Oh, if you ever feel lost and want to talk, just use T, okay? I'll give you great precise advice as an ace investigator, sir. Something to try later if I have free time, I suppose. He reminds me of L from, Death Note. Ouch! They even knocked over your chess set! I had it all set up and ready for when you got back. I figured we could play a few games. I had no idea you was interested in chess. I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'll give chess a try. In that case, I suppose I can set some time aside after we solve the case. Though I don't expect the games to tax my mental acuity much. You trying to call Gumshoe stupid? Oh, okay, so we got proof of my profession. However, I prefer to keep it in my pocket. The victim in the case, why was he killed in my office? That's what we're trying to figure out. All right, how do I go back? How do I get out of here? Z is back, okay. They finished photographing the bodies, so it should be all right to examine this area. I won't rest until I inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Okay. Let's see here. There's blood all over the lower abdomen area. It looks like the bullet passed through, or clean through his stomach area, sir. In other words, he was shot. Yep, and until the autopsy is done, I don't think we'll know much more than that. Please have the body sent to the morgue once they've done processing the crime scene. Crime scene notes jotted down in the organizer. Bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen. The body was found at around 2:05 a.m. Are you going to be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir? Of course. This is the safest way I know to keep track of it all. All right, if you say so. I'll keep all the evidence I find either in or on my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have but to press E to open up my organizer. But the organizer isn't only for evidence. I keep people's profiles on hand in it too. It's probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. Okay, is there anything else? That's a phone. What do we have here? Hey, I think I've seen one of those before. Is it a phone? It's a police badge, detective. Oh, hey! I have that exact thing, actually. Oh, what a coinkydink. Let's take a look inside. Buddy Faith, detective. His rank is detective. It would appear that our victim was a detective, just like you. According to this badge ID, Buddy Faith was a precinct detective. Okay, he's got blood on his hand as well. There's blood over his lower abdomen area, but no, I was checking his hand, but okay, it was fine. It had a check mark as well, so... Alright, so that's a check mark, that's a check mark, so those are good to go. There's nothing here, but... it's just a bunch of books. I think we're done here? Oh, wait a minute. Did he try to write something? I don't believe it. I packed those files on the shelves so tight. There's not even an earthquake that can make them fall off. But just look at them. At this rate, the rest of the files won't be able to withstand an earthquake at all. A problem to be sure. Well, once the investigation is over, we'll put them back on the shelf. No, he tried to write something, didn't he? Look at that. Never mind. Well, that's just the bookshelf. Anything with the books? Your files are all over the floor, sir. They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer. Let's go. All files are a mess, pointing to the struggle between the victim and the killer. Oh, and I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you were away. I mean, this is just rendered all the time and effort I put in pointless. I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room. Well, I water the flowers every day just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day every Saturday, I'll come in and clean this place until it sparkled. Does he have a life? Yeah. All right, I think we're done here. We examined everything that we possibly can, I think. Yeah. So let's proceed to go back. All right, so there's one thing for sure. There's the gun. We gotta check this. We can't check the gun? Yes, we can. Why are we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. I think I've seen one of those before. Care to enlighten me as to where? Oh, I know. I was issued the exact same model, I think. Detective. I don't really like guns at all that much. I mean, they are really dangerous. But now that I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine much, except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it. So it's the same type of revolver as the one used by the precinct detectives. Obviously, it's the detective's gun, right? I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Now to calmly use some logic and figure out as to any of them are connected to each other. Oh, okay, it's time to cue in some logic with Q. Hold it! Okay, why did this happen in my office? The victim was a detective, and found on the crime scene is the same model as those of the detectives. You put those two together with T, they should fit. The revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Did it belong to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body once more time? Yes, sir. On it now, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let's see. What do we have here? Miss Edgeworth, sir, this guy's wearing a gun holster. So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Victims with all the data jotted down in my organizer. It can be assumed that this gun is the murder weapon. It was issued to the victim. Let's see what else we can find about this revolver. As I always say, you gotta look really carefully at each piece of evidence. You can use up, down, left, right. To rotate an object, there is no such thing as a bad angle. And use Q and E to zoom in and out of the nitty-gritty. Okay. So, I mean, let's check this, I suppose. To think that it's so easy to take a life with just a pull of a trigger. You know, I can't ever see myself really liking guns. Oh, but I love the ones they use at track and field meets to start races. If you take off before it's fired, everybody always ends up following your lead. To chase you down for a false start, detective. Now that you mention it, even when I finish first, I always wind up in last place. Huh. Is there anything with the... Wait, hold on. How many bullets? Ah, just one bullet's been fired. But wait a minute. If only one bullet's been fired, then when he shot the picture, it must have been 2 bullets, because there's one in his abdomen, or went through his abdomen, and there's one in the picture. It looks like only 1 round was fired from this. Wow, so the killer killed the Vic with just one shot after wrestling the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? We have no proof for that now. That is a distinct possibility. I guess this is all we're going to find out. We should send the body to the Jim! Why? Oh, why? How could this happen to a guy like you? Are you alright? Don't touch me! Leave me alone! Just let me be! Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. The body? The body? Don't talk to him like that, like he's just some lump of flesh. Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night. Oh, sure. It's just the blood-stained suit, pal. Where are my manners? Aren't you that prosecutor? Why, yes, I am. I'm Jaquan Portsman, prosecutor. I don't know if I said that name right. I'm just going to call him Jay. Jim here was my partner in crime busting. I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I am also a prosecutor. Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir. So you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office. Yes, that is correct. Then it was you! You're the one who killed Jim. Hey, don't go around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay? I will not. I know how things work around here. High prosecutor's office doors all have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door. That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner. Yeah, Ms. Edwards has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could have get in here was me. Wait, that means... I'm not sure what that means. So it was you then. You're Jim's killer. Oh, no way, pal. You got it all wrong. Calm down, everyone. Mr. Portsman's correct. If you are a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigations have just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing conclusions? All right, I get your point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer, though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You are something of a legend, you know. Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? A pleasure to work with you. You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Hurry on then. It's your room, after all. Thank you, I intend to. I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there! Sir! I want you to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner, Jim. I should probably give them some space. What about this bullet hole, though? Your jacket, sir! What is it doing on the floor? It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing around. So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dared to shoot an ultra special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in? Wait, if they had shot through it, it would have been a disaster. It's not worth getting worked up, detective. Not when there's something more here. Huh? Like what? I take it you haven't noticed it yet, detective. There's a bullet in there, and there's a bullet inside the victim, but only one shot was fired. There's a giant contradiction right in front of us. Really? Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. I was starting to sound like him. But I have my own methods, and I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my detective skills come to play. First, I have to find the spot that holds the contradiction. This spot right here. This is it. This bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. When I spot something that's off, I should point my cursor at it and press T with conviction. T with conviction! I hit it. It didn't work. There it is. And when I find significant proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. I take a chip and I eat it. This is how I do things. Okay, so the bullet, the round. So this is the contradiction here. So I'm going to present this. Eureka! This is clearly where the contradiction lies. I don't really see what's so wrong with this spot. Huh, you don't understand. You see, therein lies the contradiction. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, it'd be nice if you just admit when you're wrong. That was a mistake? That was me keeping you on your toes, detective. But, okay, alright, so the gun instead. Alright, so it's the gun instead, alright. I already got one wrong. It's the gun. Present. Eureka! This bullet holds the contradiction. What do you mean, sir? It's elementary. The 2 shots were fired in this room. The first felt the victim. See, I picked him because that's where the first bullet was. How could it be a bullet in him and a bullet hole in there? And the second felt the frame. Hey, that's right. However, this gun was only fired once. Hey, that's true. Which means that one of these 2 bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? Other than the victim's gun that I found, could there be another gun in play here? By the way, I noticed something, sir. Yes? What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame? It's a safe. Ah, that. It's a secret safe. A secret safe? Ooh, I smell money. I swear it's both trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way. Roger that. Achoo! Such talk about a dusty. I suppose that's what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while. I had no idea there was a safe here, or I've kept it clean for you, sir. So when did you put this thing in? It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one. Really? I had no idea. Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence. So what's inside, Miss Edgeworth? Right now? Nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session. That's it? Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams. Secret safe data jotted down in the organizer. Each prosecutor has one in their office. Only they know of them. Trial evidence use. I won't rest until I inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Oh! There's a burn mark here. Now this is odd. You found something, sir. This keypad, don't you find it a bit too clean? Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust around it, but not the keypad itself. You there, the forensic scientist. Yes, sir. Could you please dust this area for fingerprints? You got it, sir. I couldn't find, let alone lift, a single print. Looks like it was wiped down well. All the fingerprints on this has been wiped clean. Okay. The prints were wiped, as I thought. So wait, a prosecutor knows. It's that guy, obviously, right? Because we saw him earlier in the beginning. There's going to be a lot of reading here, so I definitely have some water on my side. It appears that logic's the only way around this setback. Time to rationally and calmly connect the dots with the information we have. Okay, so logic. Okay, cue then. The killer's goal, wiped fingerprints. Why did this happen in my office? Was the killer after? Another handgun. Signs of a struggle. Is this all I have? Wait a minute, is this using logic? I guess it is. Maybe this was the killer's goal? Net. I believe I figured out this murderer was after. Well, what is it, sir? The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking in and entering theft, I believe. I wonder if knowing what the motive behind this break-in was theft changes what the other pieces of information can tell me about this crime. Huh. So wait a minute. So the signs there's a motive. The culprit tried to open up my safe. Was the killer's motive? My files are a mess, pointing to a struggle between the victim and the killer. This gotta be it. There's a possibility that the files splayed on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer. Oh, you mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir? Precisely. We need to figure out any of these files have been stolen. Yes, sir. I'm going to shelve files like you've never seen them before, even at a library. Sure. Let's give it a try. Why do all the good ones always die young? Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how much we lament, the dead would not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth. And so what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth? First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place. You got it. Here, let me help. So this file goes here, and that book goes there. You sure know a lot of where things go, despite it being Mr. Edgeworth's office. Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal, okay? Done. It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here. The bloodstains on the bookshelf are still fresh. I suspect the victim was killed in standing position, hence the prints on the shelf. And then the guy fell into the floor, right? The blood on the floor kinda grosses me out. Detective, I don't have the time to deal with your weak stomach right now. But you know I'm no good with blood, sir. I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. Oh, the fact that the handprints are facing, like, this way? Why is it facing this way? It's like he was doing a handstand or something. Oh, the bullet right here. Why is the bullet hole so low if he was shot standing up? So this is where the bullet lodged itself after it went through the victim, huh? For the bullet to be lodged so squarely in a file pine indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred. Then I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way. The handprints. It appeared that the victim was in a sitting position here after being shot. So that's why the seat of the victim's pants had blood on it. That makes sense. That would be the logical conclusion. The victim's handprints. He must have tried to support himself with his hands after being shot. But why are they facing the other way? Why is the fingers facing this way if he was, like, shot? That doesn't make any sense. There are prints on the floor too. Like, this one makes sense, but not this. They must have been made unable to stay standing. He dropped to the floor. Oh, okay, I get it. All right. So he shot. He was facing forward. He shot and he put his hands there and then slumped down and put his hands there. All right, that makes sense. I get it now. I know why they're facing the other way now. This is pointless. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Everything looks correct. O, B, O, C, O... Was that... That's C, right? The killer moved the body because it leaned against the bookshelf. The blood on this guy's pants proves that pretty well. In a sense, I suppose. See, I'm not completely useless, Miss Edgeworth. I'll put them all back just as they should be, sir. Doesn't it look like anything's missing? Although it does look like the killer moved the body to flip through the shelves. I wonder if they found what they were looking for. So these are all checked. Alright, so it doesn't really look like there's anything else. I suppose we can now deduce. Just checking. Alright, let's go ahead and deduce. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Bullet went clean through the body's abdomen. Why is the bullet... Why is that... Why is the bullet so low? Wait a minute. I picked that, but it just shows me the picture. Hold on, go back. Oh, present it with T. Does it fit any of the evidence I know? Our prosecutor was in the prosecutor's office. It's my time to speak with him. I mean, this is the best evidence. Is it clear where the contradiction lies? I don't really see what's wrong with that spot. Hi, yeah, I did it wrong. I don't understand. What am I trying to deduce here? He was shot. This is where he was shot. Can I just back up, I guess? Oh, I just need to talk to him. Okay. Mr. Portman, a word if you may. Oh, Jim, your laugh, your smile. I'll never be able to joke around with you again. But don't worry, Jim. I'll joke around enough for both of us. You'll see. He's not listening at all. Mr. Portman is off on his own little world, it seems. Someone like gun here? Watch out for the T fragments there, sir. The killer's gonna pay. This tea set. Yikes! You're really mad over this. This tea set is very dear to my heart and can only be bought in England. It costs more than your whole month's paycheck. What? Now I feel like the killer wasted one of my monthly paychecks. Well, it's a good thing my Steel Samurai doll was spared from harm. Speaking of which, I still haven't actually sat down and watched any of the show. What is it about again? Well, I don't know much about it myself, but the hero of the Steel Samurai, a warrior of Neo-Old Tokyo, is the Steel Samurai. And his goal is to defeat the evil magistrate. It's a show geared towards kids. However, its high productive values and riveting plot draws in a number of adults as well. Spin-offs like Pink Princess, Warrior of Little Old Tokyo, and the Nickel Samurai. Along with the doge of merchandise, and even a new stage show gives its presence. You sure know a lot. Are you sure you're not some sort of rabid fanboy? Of course not. Anyone that keeps up with the Sidesy knows at least that much. And this conversation lasted longer than expected. Let us return to the investigation. Oh, hold on, there's more. It's this. Yet another batch of fresh flowers. The ones that come with a card attached every month like clockwork for you, yep. Speaking of that, let's see what's on the card this month, sir. All will be resolved. All will be resolved, Wendy. Oh, this irony. How painful are the thorns. Wendy, isn't that the name of the old lady with the whiny voice that stalks? That's enough, detective. You need not remind me further. Shudder. Alright, this is new. It's been a while since I sat at this desk. Oh, how I missed you. It's so tidy, it looks newer than the first bought it. Oh yeah, this thing's so polished that it makes mirrors jealous. Don't tell me you had no other work the entire time I was away, detective? My job is to protect your office, sir. And you did such a good job protecting it that a murder occurred in it. That's harsh, sure. I have to admit the desk has never looked better, so I guess I can dock his pay. I can't dock his pay. I am his boss. Hope we can solve this case quickly. I'd like to return to relaxing on this sofa. That thing looks a billion times softer than my mattress at home. Can I sit on it too, just for a little while, sir? Detective Gumshoe, you know I can't allow that. Until this case is solved, neither of us has time to spare, let alone rest. You're right, sir. I'm gonna work hard and be a real trooper to the end. Even once this case is over, I don't think he can afford to take my time off. Okay, so let's talk to him. I feel like we kind of like speaking to everything right now. I'm beginning to think that... Oh, hold on, there's one more. Oh, it's your trophy, the Knight of Prosecutors, right? King of Prosecutors. And it's not a trophy, it's a shield. They only send this to the winning prosecutors, right? Yes, but I have no real interest in the perceived worth of other people. As for my own worth, this is something only I can determine for myself. That's so slick, sir. I'm gonna have to try saying that sometimes. Unfortunately for him, his monetary worth is tied directly to his worth to me. Oh no. Alright, so I think that's pretty much it. The tea's set, he's cleaning that. I can talk to him. May I have a word with you? Please, I need absolute silence. Looking for prints in the crime scene is the most sacred process. That man loves his job, maybe a little bit too much. Let's talk to him. He's just standing there. Do you have anything to report? Sir, yes, sir. Seeing this apartment is tearing up like that, has brought an unstoppable torrent of tears in my own eyes, sir. Were you good friends with Mr. Faith, pal? No, sir, but I can't help myself. I'm sympathetic to other people's tears. If I may make a suggestion, I'll clean myself up as to not give the wrong impression. So that's it. Can I just leave? I don't know what I'm doing here. See, this is when I started the video and I said that I'm not a big brain human. This is what I meant. I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know what I need to do. I feel like I need to maybe press T. You called, sir. You notice anything? Is there anything you noticed that you'd like to share, Detective Gumshoe? Just that I rushed over here as soon as they heard the murder in your office, sir. The investigation just gotten started, so I guess there's nothing else much to say. So, were you the one that found the body, Mr. Edgeworth? Unfortunately, upon my return, I found my office door to be unlocked. And what awaited me inside was this whole messy affair. Ouch, that's rough. Even though I left the security of this room to a certain detective. Sorry, sir. I assume you understand how to conduct investigations, Detective Gumshoe. Of course, sir. I said doctor. Examine anything and everything with space. By checking various things out, we can gather all sorts of evidence and information. You can see the evidence we've collected with E. For information and leads is Q. That's it. Great job, sir. Deductive reasonable is the way to go. Is deductive reasoning, Detective, clearly something you lack. I might as well do this one as well. So, any keen insights, Detective? Well, I noticed that you haven't found anything odd about the crime scene yet. That's unlike you, sir. If you spot something that seems off, you should check it out. All you have to do is line up the cursor with where you see the contradiction and press T. After that, you'll still gotta back up your hunch. Pick the piece of evidence that does the job and present it with T. I suppose you spotted something already, which is why you explained all this to me. Oh, not really. But hey, that's what you're here for, Miss Edgeworth. To find them all in a jiffy. In with overconfidence, as he's none too subtle, cries for assistance. Okay, so, alright, hold on, let's go back. So the contradiction is that bullet hole being so close to the floor, right? So something off with this picture. So T? Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Let's just try this. What do you mean, sir? You don't see? It's quite simple. The bullet hole itself is too low. Here we go. See, finally. All I had to do was that. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up. What if the guy was shot while he was sitting or laying down, sir? That would be illogical. The victim leaned against the shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot. Then that means... Wait, what does that mean, sir? It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, Detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption, and in it was the mistake that our current contradiction was born. What is this faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole position? Wait a second, hold on. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? Well, the position of the body then, right? Because like if he was shot in the stomach, then it wouldn't be that low. The position of the handprints is fine. What is the faulty assumption that caused this? Is it the handprints? The order of the fouls? The faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position. I want to say the position of the body, but maybe it's the handprints. This doesn't make any sense because like I'm looking for the faulty assumptions that caused the problem with the bullet hole's position. Well, I can get multiple wrong, so it doesn't really matter. But the order of the fouls, he said this is in the correct order. I'm gonna say the position of the body or the order of the fouls. I believe the order of the fouls is a bit off. You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think that label on the fouls are wrong, sir. Oh. Yeah, you see here how the fouls that were shot begin with the number 0? What are those doing all the way there? 1, 2, and 3. That's really weird. I didn't even notice that, but it does make sense, and I'm glad I got that right. Because like every other foul is 2B, 2C, 2D, 2E, 2F, G, and H. Why does this go to B, C, and then 0A, B, C, D? Actually, the way they're organized now is the correct order. They are exactly as I see them in my mind's eye. But the numbers are out of order. Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the fouls were not in the order that the crime occurred. Ah, so that's it. I believe the killers made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, Detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find. Do you think that it'd be okay to prop the body back up to just the way it was moved? They're finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. Oh. And look at the blood over here in O, F, G, etc. Wait. Huh. Weird. The killer went through my file just before shooting Mr. Faith. And then put the files back in numerical order, as I guessed. Exactly, then proceeded to shoot the victim. But why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time? Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice, once before and once after the crime. But why? The culprit rearranged my files twice, once before and after the murder. Now the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. Time to give another look. Okay, I did notice this. What is that? Why does it say Gumshoe on there in blood? Oh no, Gumshoe, no. I say that's an incredibly incriminating evidence. Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed. No, wait, that's gotta be some mistake. Miss Edgeworth, sir, help me. Say something, sir. It appears that one of my files was stolen. Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation? Is this what the killer really was after? Stolen file jotted down in the organizer. Investigation complete. Hey, I'm healed. Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is a guilty party. If you are going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have proof to back it up. Jim's words, they're more than enough. What did you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You got it. I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. And there must be some sort of flaw in his logic, waiting for me to dig it out. Miss Edgeworth, what are we gonna do? What I always do in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique. Oh, how do you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir? Might as well. Alright, first, I listen to the witness testimony. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open my organizer with E and present it with a piece of contradictory evidence. To present something, I simply use T. That's old news. But it's not like there's going to be a flaw in their testimony every time, right? Correct. And at those times, I need to press the witness with Q. Sometimes by pressing, I can draw out new information and new or modified testimony. I think I get it, sir. I'll be sure to try this technique out during investigations too. Very well. I'll even show you how it's done. Watch carefully. Prosecutor versus prosecutor. Mr. Portsmouth's logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. Wait, do I press now? That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. It will be by his final words that you will be brought to justice. The body wasn't in front of the words. What are you talking about, dude? The body wasn't in front of the words. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer? I can hear Jim's voice and he's calling for his killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsmouth? There's no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic and expose it with incredible evidence. All right, let's do this. Mr. Portsman's logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun and shot him dead. Let's press everything.
Hold it!
You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim, when clearly his name is Buddy Faith? Isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. Jacques and Jim. Don't think those two names go together like peanut butter and jelly? But Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name. Well, Jacques and Buddy just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of my bunch of guys I decided to nickname Jim. He talks about the victim like he was his pet. Further, you mess with the files to make it look like you had committed the theft instead. Let's press everything again.
Hold it!
Hold it! Do you really think it was necessary to dishevel my shelves twice to do that? That's true. Okay, then maybe his real intent was theft. Hey, are you accusing me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth? It's a possibility. Maybe your salary has been cut so much that life is getting a little too rough to handle. I'll have you know that I eat 3 square meals a day, pal. Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but poor thing, what an evil prosecutor you were paired with, and what a motive, no? That's when you move Jim's body sitting in front of the bookshelf. Press, hold it!
Hold it!
And why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing? Because the body was getting in his way. He had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway. But thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters that he was hiding, that the body was hiding.
Hold it!
Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? The body was covering it quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how you missed it. But judging by the way I've seen it, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something. Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal. There's a lot a person can understand about another from first impressions alone. I can't say I disagree with him on that point. Why don't you say something, sir? Not you too, Miss Edgeworth. Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective is the culprit. Nobody could have overlooked the bloody letters, and I can prove it with evidence. I can ask for a better setup for this game's finishing spike. It'll be his final words that brought you to justice. Okay, so we're going to present the evidence here, obviously. Okay, E. One of the files were written in blood, stolen by the culprit. I will present the body, because his body wasn't covering it, right? So let's press T.
Objection!
It would behoove you to take a good look at this. I see it, but I fail to see how it's anything to do with me. What? You're not out of your game today, Mr. Genius Prosecutor. I can't allow him to pace here. I must remain calm. That's where I present the evidence, though. But thanks to that, he didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. Maybe this is where I press him at? It'd be his final words that you were brought to justice. I want to present one more thing. This could be wrong, though. But his body wasn't in front of this, is the thing. So he would have noticed.
Objection!
There we go. The correct evidence. Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there is a serious flaw in your logic. So everything that I get wrong, I feel like that could have been it because his body was in the middle of the shelf, but I didn't present the right thing. I needed to present the words instead of his body. Perhaps you're not aware. Hey, bringing a bit to the courtroom into this, I see. No problem, I'm game. I can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Odd that a fellow prosecutor will be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it. If you have the time to laugh, then you have the time to take another closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? What? That's impossible. That's impossible, Mr. Portsman. Nothing. The file on the shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines.
Objection!
It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters on the detective's name where the file should be is proof. Yeah, I mean, the S is gone, and there's only half an H. If Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case, I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Which means, what exactly? What does this make this dying message? It makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. That's so low! I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir! I'm gonna get him, sir! You'll see! I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time! Well, Mr. Portsman. Brilliant! Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. Nah, you win some and you lose some. That's how life goes. Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. But you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however. What is it this time? Are you still after me, pal? Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office? That would be me! But Mr. Edward just proved that I'm innocent, pal. What? That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. Then why do I sense that you have something to say? What is he doing? Well, I was thinking, did you know that there is one other person with a key to this office? One other person. Hey, you there? Yes, sir. What is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? A lady? The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. Security? Did you say security? No, stop it, pal, don't! What's wrong with him all of a sudden? I believe she needs no introduction. I have called upon Miss Maggie Bride, a member of security. Detective Gumshoe, sir? Maggie! Miss Bride is a security guard on watch tonight. I see, and your point is? My point is that she could very well have used it, and by it, I mean the master key which can open all the office doors in this building. Whoa! What? If you are not the guilty party, Detective Gumshoe, then the only other person with access to the room is Miss Bride. How dare you? I would never sneak into someone's room. That's right. I refuse to believe that Maggie's the culprit, pal. It was me. That's right. I did it. Can we take that as a confession, Detective? Well, it wasn't really me, but it definitely wasn't Maggie, pal. So yeah, it was me. If it was, you have no problem with that, right? Please refrain from flying off the handle, Detective. There's no need for such theoretics. Listen to your boss, detective. He understands what I'm saying here. That girl is the only one who could have committed the crime, and for one simple reason. Reason for suspicion. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bride snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bride as our prime suspect. And on which she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. So you're saying she used the master key? Master key jotted down in the organizer. This key can open every office door. It's used to control by security staff. Incredibly incriminating evidence, what did you say? That's what you claimed about the evidence earlier as well. That was then, this is now. The flow of a good match always changes during a rally. It's all about your reflexes and reaction time, especially for an athlete like me. I wonder if there's anyone else other than Miss Bride who could have used the master key. It seems that the only way to get Mr. Portsmouth to give more details is to press him. All right, rebuttal. Reasons for suspicion. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bride snuck into the room using the master key. Let's press everything.
Hold it!
Are you sure Miss Bride is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight, she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bride? That's true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, sir. Well, moving on. I hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. What do you mean unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time. Should I hear Miss Bride out? No details necessary. That would be stupid. Ask for more details. Not so fast. I too am interested in hearing what Miss Bride has to say. Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I'll be the judge of that, Miss Bride, if you would please. I discovered that the master key was missing around 1 a.m., sir. What do you mean by missing? As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portman, I believe this is to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't believe that someone like you would be taken by such words. I'm not lying, sir.
Objection!
If that's the case, then I'd like to know why you have the master key now. I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. A likely story. And where's your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again. I never lose things. I can practically guarantee it. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it. Yeah, pal, trust me. You don't want to test just how bad her luck is. Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Glad you agree, Miss Edgeworth. But, you still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Miss Edgeworth's office. Her motive? Didn't we already establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. It is as Mr. Portsman say, Detective. I can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points toward a motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. Her intent? From this messed up bookshelf to the wiped down safe, I'll say thievery.
Hold it!
I concur that the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery. However, glad to hear that the great Miles Edgeworth is in agreement with little old me. However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe, hey, good thinking, asking for my opinion on the matter? Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence? I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, I don't think we need to press this one. Then that leaves only Miss Bride as your prime suspect. Don't you think it's a bit early to jump into conclusions? Are you saying there's another way to open the door other than with the master key? Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare made for someone else. I have you know, I've never made a spare, so what are you insinuating? Nothing. Guess I should have known better than to suggest that someone like you would. On top of which, she knows our good old detective, doesn't she? Making it all the more probable that she's the one that faked the dying message. I'll just press this, even though I don't think pressing it would do anything. Is there anyone in the district that hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe? Good point. He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors. Really? I never knew I was so talked about, sir. We're holding our collective breath, you know? Or when you screw up so badly that you're literally chased off the force. What? Is that true, Mr. Edgeworth? Of course not. That's hogwash. Phew, don't scare me like that. I almost had a heart attack there. Okay, I'll just do hold it here as well.
Hold it!
By dying message, you mean the bloody letters that spell out Gumshoe. I figured that whoever wrote his name must have wanted to frame him. And just the act of choosing his name is proof enough that the two knew each other well. Miss Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence. I would love to. But first, we should listen a bit more and digest what he's saying. And press him for more information. Okay, so the only thing I didn't press him for is this. No, it's this one.
Hold it!
I thought we had established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly. If it was just a theory, one hypothesis among the many possibilities. I mean, I had my doubts about Miss Bride from the very beginning. Is that the case? Then why didn't you mention her first? Now, don't make that face, see? There goes the truth, running the other way. Let's pick up the pace and see if we can't catch up to it. I don't think you're catching my drift. But we're in agreement that the detective isn't the killer, right? If so, then I hope you'll understand what I say. That since she is the only one that could have opened up the office door. Okay, so this is interesting. I don't have anything that I can really get him on here. Let's read this through. We pressed him on everything. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bright snuck into your room using the master key. This key can open every office door. It was stolen from the security office. Okay, if it was stolen, let's go ahead and press him on that.
Objection!
I must object to your line of logic. And which part do you... it was wrong. We're no good when you're flustered. How did it come to this? Calm down, Mouse. Listen carefully and think everything through a bit more. Rationally, I mean. Alright, it said it was stolen, though. I wonder if I can present, like, people. Wait. Let's go back. Her intent from this messed up shows wipe down the safe. Her intent from the messed up shows to the wipe down safe, I'll say thievery. Which is to open the door. That does leave her as the prime suspect. Man, this is tough. I kind of want to press this. This leaves only Miss Bright as our prime suspect. I think I pressed this one already. But let's do it again. Alright, so he's saying the same thing. Wait, is that like telling me that I need to present something here? That leaves Miss Bright as only our prime suspect. Let's present something here. Proof of profession, however, I keep it in my pocket. Bullet cleaned through the victim's abdomen. The body was found around 2. Stolen by the culprit. Let's present this here. Oh! I don't know. Okay. I gotta really think about this. Let me give it some thought. So this is the first time that I'm actually stuck. So I definitely have to give this some thought. Detective Gumshoe is the only one I wiped down. Her intent from this messed up shelves and the wipe down safe, I would say thievery. Her intent from the messed up shelves to the wipe down safe, I would say thievery. Wait a minute. Hold on. Can I go to... What's R? Way back when they started talking about the safe, Diane message, letters on the floor saying Gumshoe. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence. Oh, wait a minute. It doesn't go that far back. The thing is, like, isn't only prosecutors that knew about the safe? Like, she wouldn't have known about the safe. She's not a prosecutor. I'm pretty sure on that. Hold on, let me see something real quick. Each prosecutor has one in their office. Only they know of them. Prints were wiped. So she couldn't have wiped down the safe if she's not a prosecutor, right? Am I right on this? I don't know. I'm losing a lot of. I'm using a lot of health here, but
Objection!
I think this is right. It's different. Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bride was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth, after all. It was also by your logic that we came to this whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe. Let's go! Finally! I don't want to tell you guys how long I've been reading and going back and forth with this. The existence of which it is only privy to prosecutors. I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident when she was turning everything upside down. I highly doubt that. I'll say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelves in the safe were targeted. Yeah, even I didn't know about the safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either. Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. Oh no, you're being screwed, dude. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now? Versus why? What made you? What's with the angry face all of a sudden? It's all my fault. What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes. What did you say? We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes. Then that means, yeah, I know. I had only just told him too. Obviously it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't believe it. But the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. Now he's claiming the victim was the thief. And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bride? Excuse me? I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit far, even if you're a risky profession. What the? You're still accusing Maggie of murder? Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that. Not even if it was as a security guard, sir. Plus, even if it was theft, he wouldn't have a key to the office. Which is precisely why he had to steal it. Wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Ah! Pretty impossible so as a supposedly stolen key here with us unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything to make sense. Has he no honor? Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out? You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office. But I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You're all suspects, varying degrees, and therefore ineligible to run this show. Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit. Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. But sir, we have no choice but to accommodate his requests for now. Haha, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from the crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Miss Portsman. We will meet again. If that's a formal request for a legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now, don't disappoint me, you hear? To be continued. Save your progress. All right, guys, this is where we will end the episode here. Man, this one took, oh wow, so much talking. I'm not that big brainy, so it takes me a while to actually get these. I have to read through it. I got to understand. I'm not a detective, but I'm going to make it through. And I understand that it's going to get harder and harder as I make it through further and further in this game. I hope you guys will stick with me on it. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, consider dropping a like, subscribe to see more videos just like this one. I'm 3% Ninja. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. And be good people.